A plague upon such backing. Give me them that will face me. Give me a cup of sack. I am a rogue if I drunk today.
O villain, thy lips are scarce wiped since thou drunkest last.
All is one for that. A plague of all cowards, still say I.
What's the matter?
What's the matter? There be 3 of us here that have taken £1,000 this day morning.
Where is it, Jack? Where is it?
Jack? Come on, man, spit out.
Where is it? Taken from us it is. 100 upon the poor 4 of us.
What? 100, man?
I am a rogue if I were not at half sword with a dozen of them 2 hours together. I have escaped by miracle. I am 8 times thrust through the doublet, 4 through the hose, my sword hacked like a handsaw. Eke Isijo! I have never dealt better since I was a man. A plague of all cowards. Let them speak. If they speak more or less than the truth, they're the real pieces of shit.
Speak, sirs, how was it?
We 4 set upon some dozen,
16 at least, my lord.
and bound them.
No, they were not bound.
You rogue, they were bound. Every man of them, or I am a Jew else. An Hebrew Jew.
As we were sharing, some 6 or 7 fresh men set upon us.
What? Fought you with them all?
All? I know not what you call all, but if I fought not with 50 of them, then I am no 2-legged creature.
Pray God you have not murdered some of them.
Nay, that's past praying for. I have peppered 2 of them. 2 I am sure have paid, 2 rogues in buckram suits. Thou knowest my old ward. Here I lay, and thus I bore my point. 4 rogues in buckram let drive at me.
What? 4? Thou saidst but 2 even now.
4 how I told thee 4.
Hey, he said 4.
These 4 came all affront and mainly thrust at me. I made no more ado, and took all 7 points in my target. Thus,
7? Why, there are but 4 even now.
7 by these hilts, or I am a villain else.
Prithee let him alone. We shall have more anon.
Dost thou hear me, Hal?
Aye.
These 9 in buckram that I told thee of.
So, 2 more already.
Their points being broken,
Down fell their hose.
began to give me ground. Came in, foot in hand, with a thought. 7 of the 11 I paid.
Oh, monstrous. 11 buckram men grown out of 2.
But as the devil would have it, 3 misbegotten knaves in Kendall Green came at my back, and let drive at me, for it was so dark, Hal, that thou couldst not see thy hand.
These lies are like their father that begets them. Gross as a mountain, open, palpable.
Art thou mad? Is not the truth the truth?
Why, how could thou'st know these men in Kendall Green when it was so dark thou couldst not see thy hand? Come, tell us your reason. What sayest thou to this?
Come, your reason, Jack, your reason.
What, on compulsion? Give you a reason on compulsion? If reasons were as plentiful as blackberries, I would not give you a reason on compulsion.
I'll be no longer guilty of this sin. Hear me speak but this.
Mark, Jack.
We 2 saw you 4 set on a 4, and bound them and were masters of their wealth. Mark now how a plain tale shall put you down. Then did we 2 set on you 4, and, with the word, outface you from your prize, and have it, and can show you here in the house. And Falstaff, you carried your guts away as nimbly, with as quick dexterity, and roared for mercy, and still run and roared, as I ever heard a bull calf. What a slave art thou to hack thy sword as thou hast done, and then say it was a fight. What trick, what device, what starting hole canst thou hide thee from this open and apparent shame?
Come, let's hear, Jack. What trick hast thou now?
By the Lord, I knew ye as well as he that made ye. Why, hear you, my masters. Was it for me to kill the heir apparent? Should I turn upon the true prince? Why, thou knowest I am as valiant as Heracles, but beware, instinct. The lion will not touch the true prince. I was now a coward on instinct. I shall think better of myself and thee during my life. I for a valiant lion, and thou for a true prince. But by the Lord, lads, I'm glad you have the money. Gallants, lads, boys, hearts of gold, all the titles of good fellowship come to you. What, shall we be merry? Shall we have play extempore?
Content, and the argument shall be thy running away.
No more of that, Hal, and thou lovest me.
Oh, Jesu, my lord the prince!
How now, my lady the hostess, what sayest thou to me?
Mary, my lord, there is a nobleman of the court at the door who spake with you. He says he comes from your father.
Give him as much as will make him a royal man and send him back again to my mother.
What manner of man is he?
An old man.
What, doth gravity out his bed at midnight? Shall I give him his answer?
Prithee do, Jack.
Faith, I'll send him packing.
Now, sirs, by Our Lady you fought fair. So did you, Pedo. So did you, Bardolph. You are lions too. You ran away upon instinct. You will not touch the true prince. No, fine.
Faith, I ran when I saw others run.
Tell me now in earnest, how came Falstaff's sword so hacked?
Why, he hacked it with his dagger and said he would swear truth out of England, but he would make you believe it was done in fight, and persuaded us to do the like.
Yeah, and to tickle our noses with spare grass and make them bleed, and then to best lubber our garments with it, and swear was the blood of true men.
Here comes in lean Jack, here comes bare bone. How now, my sweet creature Bombast? How long is to go, Jack, since you could touch your own toes?
My own toes? When I was about thy years, Hal, I was not an eagle's talent in the waist. I could have crept into any alderman's thumb ring. But listen, Hal, there's villainous news abroad. Here was Sir John Bracy from your father. He must to the court in the morning. That same mad fellow of the North, Percy, and he of Wales that gave Amamon the bastinado made Lucifer cuckold, and that old Northumberland, and that sprightly Scot of Scots, Douglas, that runs a horseback up a hill perpendicular. Thy father's beard is turned white with the news. But tell me, Hal, art thou not horribly afeared? Thou being the heir apparent, could the world pick thee out 3 such enemies again as that fiend Douglas, that spirit Percy, and that devil Glendower? Doth not thy blood thrill at it?
Not a wood of faith. I lack some of thy instinct.
Well, thou wilt be horribly chid tomorrow when thou comest to thy father. If thou love me, practice an answer.
Do thou stand for my father and examine me upon the particulars of my life.
Shall I? Oh, yeah! Content. Yeah. This chair shall be my state, this pen my scepter, and this cushion my crown.
Thy state is taken for a joined stool, thy golden scepter for a leaden dagger, and thy precious rich crown for a pitiful bald crown.
Well, and the fire of grace be not quite out of thee. Now shalt thou be moved. Give me a cup of sack to make my eyes look red, that it may be thought I have wept. For I must speak in passion.
Well, here is my leg.
And here is my speech. Stand aside, nobility.
Oh, Jisoo, this is excellent sport of faith.
Weep not, queen, for trickling tears are vain.
Oh, the father, how he holds his countenance.
For God's sakes, lords, convey my tristful queen.
Oh, Jisoo, he doth it like one of these harlotry players as I ever seen.
Peace, good Pinpot. Peace, good Ticklebrain. Harry, I do not only marvel where thou spendest thy time, but also how thou art accompanied. If then thou be son to me, why, being son to me, art thou so pointed at? There is a thing, Harry, which thou hast often heard of, and it is known to many in our land by the name of pitch. This pitch, as ancient writers do report, doth defile. So doth the company thou keepest. Yet there is a virtuous man whom I have often noted in thy company, but I know not his name.
What matter of man, an it like your majesty?
A goodly, portly man, i'faith, of a cheerful look, a pleasing eye, and a most noble carriage. And now I remember me, his name is Falstaff. If that man should be lewdly given, he deceiveth me. For, Harry, I see virtue in his looks. Him keep with, the rest banish. And tell me now, thou naughty varlet, tell me where hast thou been this month?
Dost thou speak like a king? Do thou stand for me, and I'll play my father.
Depose me!
Well, here I am, set.
And here I stand. Judge, my masters.
Now, Harry, whence come you?
My noble lord from East Cheek.
The complaints I hear of thee are grievous.
It's not true, my lord, they are false. Nay, I'll tickle ye for a young prince of faith.
Thou art violently carried away from grace. There is a devil haunts thee in the likeness of an old fat man, a ton of man in thy companion. Why dost thou converse with that trunk of humours, that swollen parcel of dropsies, that huge bombard of sack?
I would your grace would take me with you. Who means your grace?
That villainous, abominable misleader of youth, Falstaff.
My lord, the man I know.
I know thou dost.
That he is old, the more the pity. But that he is, saving your reverence, a whoremaster, that I utterly deny. If sack and sugar be at fault, God help the wicked. If to be old and merry be a sin, then many an old house that I know is damned. If to be fat to be hated, then Pharaoh's lean kine are to be loved. No, my good lord, banish Peto, banish Bardolph, banish Poins. But for sweet Jack Falstaff, kind Jack Falstaff, true Jack Falstaff, valiant Jack Falstaff, and therefore more valiant being, as he is, old Jack Falstaff. Banish not him thy Harry's company, banish plump Jack, and banish all the world.
I do. I will.
Oh my lord, the sheriff with the most monstrous watch is at the door.
Out ye rogue! Play out the play. I have much to say on the behalf of that Falstaff.
Oh, Jisoo, my lord!
Hi, the devil rides upon a fiddlestick. What's the matter?
The sheriff and all the watchmen are at the door. They are come to search the house. Shall I let them in?
Dost thou hear, Hal? Never call a true piece of gold a counterfeit.
Go hide thee behind the arras, the rest walk up above. Now, my masters, for a true face and good conscience.
Both which I have had, but their date is out, and therefore I'll hide me.
Call in the sheriff. Now, Master Sheriff, what is your will?
First, pardon me, my lord. A hue and cry hath followed certain men into this house.
What men?
One of them is well known, my gracious lord, a gross fat man.
As fat as butter.
The man, I do assure you, is not here, for I myself at this time have employed him. And, Sheriff, I will engage my word to thee that I will, by tomorrow dinner time, send him to answer thee or any man. For anything he shall be charged withal. And so, let me entreat you to leave the house.
I will, my lord. There are 2 gentlemen having this robbery lost 300 marks.
It may be so. If ye have robbed these men, ye shall be answerable. And so, farewell.
Good night, my noble lord.
I think it is a good morrow, is it not?
Indeed, my lord. I think it be 2 o'clock.